The Minnesota Media Archive is brought to you by North Metro TV. Your support helps make the archive possible. Please consider a one-time donation.
Run demo. Insert tape. Loading. Playing. Transferring video. Recording. Disc ready. Transfer your videotapes to DVD and digital at North Metro TV. $12 an hour for tapes. $30 an hour for film. Call 76323122803.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the Coliseum at the State Fairgrounds. Kent and Kip alongside Dave Washburn. It's the 3AA semifinal. We know Centennial. We've seen them in several games this year, but what can you tell us about Roseville?
Well, the Raiders come in tonight 15-11 record. They finished up second place in the Twin Cities Suburban East, but they've been playing pretty well of late. They knocked off Mounds View after losing to them twice during the regular season. Their last game against them was just a couple of weeks ago, but they were able to come back, win their game last week against them by a score of 6-5. But Jim Young, the coach of the Raiders, says that they're a hard-working group. They're gritty. They're going to go out and try to grind out this game, keep the checking tight, play some strong defense, and try to keep Centennial off their game with their physicality, which might be a little bit tough to do because, as you well know, Centennial is a pretty good-sized team, and so it's going to be tough for Roseville to come out and play a more physical brand of hockey against the Cougars.
Well, Roseville prides their defense. Centennial, both their defense and their offense, especially their key scorer, leading scorer, Tom Goralski, 85 points in this season. He started off the playoffs injured after that Totino Grace game. But he sat out the quarterfinal, but he's dressed it up, he's suited, ready to go for tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have his line out there, the top scorer in the metro area this season. And just Centennial's just got so many weapons they're going to be throwing at Roseville tonight. It's going to be very difficult for them to try to shut them down. I mean, they may be able to shut one line down, but if they do, the second line will hit, or vice versa. So, I mean, here's a team in Centennial that has outscored their opponents throughout the year 9-1 on average. I mean, so they can score. They've also got the best goaltender in Greg Stutz. He's got a 1.29 goals against average this year, and was rated as the top goalkeeper in the Twin Cities metro area. So they've got it all going on. I mean, Centennial on paper doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to touch them through this tournament.
All right, they met earlier in the season. It was a 6-0 victory for Centennial. However, a lot of things can change in November, and anything can happen in section playoffs. But it's the Centennial Cougars meeting up with the Roseville Raiders. Is coming up next at the Coliseum here on North Metro 15.
Good evening and welcome to the State Fair Coliseum as we are underway in the Section 3 2A semifinal matchup between the Centennial Cougars and the Roseville Raiders. How you doing, everybody? Dave Washburn along with Kent and Kip. And this one just getting going here as we have the opening face-off. We'll get to the starters in just a moment or so here, but the Cougars in the white jerseys, Roseville in black. There's a backhand shot and a nice stop made by Patrick Kriegler, the goaltender for Roseville. The Raiders control the puck, get it out to center ice, but it's dumped back in by Tim Ornell. And we have a line change on both sides as the Cougars control the puck in their own zone. Out to center ice. Pass up ahead. Nobody there for the Cougars, and it's picked up by the Raiders. Number 8, Robbie Spaulding. He loses it at center ice, and it's controlled for the Cougars by Travis Vermeulen. Into the corner. And here come the Cougars back out. Pass up ahead for Vermeulen. He gets it back across the blue line, leaves it, and the shot fired wide. Picked up along the near boards by R.J. Anderson. Anderson, the second leading scorer for the Cougars. There's a shot fanned on by Ryan Flynn. Another shot deflected high up and over the glass.
Look out.
And we got pucks flying already early in the early going here. And
well, here were the Roseville starters. I'm guessing that's David Anderson instead of Avid.
So.
Peter Morrison, Mike Dorr, and Sam Dorr, Eric Lensing, and in net Patrick Kriegler. 1,200 minutes logged, 2.97 goals against average for the Raiders.
He's had a pretty nice season for Roseville. Doesn't compare with Greg Stutz. We'll talk about him momentarily when we get the next stoppage of play. In the meantime, Cougars have already outshot Roseville 2-0 in the early going here.
And Dave, you're not going to find a lot of teams that are going to match numbers with the Cougars.
Yeah, you definitely got that right. And I think the thing that impresses me the most about the Centennial is their efficiency. I was taking a look at their numbers earlier. 35% of the shots they take go in the net.
That's pretty good numbers, especially when you take 70 shots on goal like they're doing during the North Suburban Conference season. Oh, nice opportunity in front. Palma was just brought down in front. That's going to draw a penalty.
Yep, and we're going to have a high sticking call.
Here's a look at it. Just brought down from behind with the high stick. And take a look at the Centennial starters quickly. Tom Goralski, Tim Ornell, and Ben Alilla, of course, their first line, along with Greg Flynn, Tony Palma on defense, and Greg Stutz between the pipes. Greg Stutz, 1.29 goals against average, good enough for second in the Metro.
Well, Capistrant is called for the penalty, and the Cougars will go on the power play, just what Roseville does not need in the early going here. As Centennial controls the puck, comes to the near side to Greg Flynn. Flynn has it taken off of his stick and out to center ice where it's picked up by Anderson.
And that's one thing that kind of surprises me when teams play Centennial is you'd think they would be disciplined and not want to pick up penalties to put the Cougars on the power play, but it happened in the first round and it happened here again in the semifinals.
Flynn's shot deflected out in front, but it goes back behind the net. Yeah, and you just have to wonder if they're just trying to play too physical to try to slow them down, and it looks like we've got another whistle. 13:58 left to play here in the first period of play. No score in the early going, but Centennial has outshot Roseville 5-0. Looks like offsides will be the call. We'll bring it back outside the Raiders zone. Face-off still loose, controlled by Roseville. They'll clear it the length of the ice right on Greg Stutz. And picked up there by Flynn. Here comes Centennial back the other way. Bring it across is Mike Montgomery. Montgomery skates all the way in. He'll have to pull it back out, drop it back behind the net.
Travis Vermeulen getting worked on the boards by Tom Cruiser. Yep. Travis Vermeulen, one of the smaller players on the ice, but he's got a lot of speed. And he also packs a punch for being one of the smaller players.
Yeah, Vermeulen 5'6", 160, the smallest player on the Cougars roster. And there's a shot dumped in, and on the rebound, another opportunity is Dominic Palma had a great chance and a great second chance, but couldn't finish.
Yeah, Mike Montgomery was just waiting on the backside, right in the back door, trying to put that one in with the one-timer, but they could not connect.
Flynn will send it out to center ice, and the Raiders once again able to flip it down. 7 seconds left to go in the power play, and see if Cougars get one final rush here. And here comes Anderson. Anderson with the shot, and he scores!
John Anderson. He is the highest scoring defenseman in the state of Minnesota, and you just saw why. Unbelievable move by R.J. Anderson. Let's take another look at this one. brings it into the zone, puts a nice move, slices right through the defense, beats the keeper. Very patient move, and he sticks it in the back of the net right behind Kriegler. And Cougars draw first blood here.
So
4:18 into the period.
So Anderson picks up his 28th goal of the year. It is not a power play goal as the penalty had just expired, but for all intents and purposes it was because of the fact that Capistrant was just coming out of the box when the score was scored. It's easy for me to say.
Yeah, Greg Flynn on the assist on that goal at 4:18.
So 1-0 Centennial lead. Losing the puck at the blue line were the Cougars, unable to track it down was Vermillion.
Looks like Cougars going to draw a penalty here.
That's going to be a delayed penalty, and so we'll have an opportunity now for Roseville to go on the power play. Heading into the box is Ryan Flynn.
Not so happy Ryan Flynn. As he slams the bench coming in. So now Raiders will catch their first power play.
Tripping will be the call.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen Centennial given up a power play goal. Of course, I haven't seen all their games, and I'm sure they have, but it's not too common.
Yeah, the Cougars, of course, only losing one game this year coming into tonight's action, 25-1. That one game, just the fourth game of the season, a loss against Edina. They lost that one 4-1, and that obviously the lowest point total scored by the Cougars as well.
And I believe there's only been 9 games where they've given up more than 1 goal this season.
Yeah, I'd have to take a look at that. I do know that they have 11 shutouts on the season. The stick goes flying at the other end, flipped out of the hand of Robbie Spaulding for Roseville. Picking it up is Peter Morrison. Morrison back behind his own net. We'll dump it off for Sam Dorr. Dorr, one of the captains of the Raiders, unable to bring it out of the zone, and the Raiders have spent this entire power play in their own zone, and there's a minute 18 left to go.
The Cougars, one of the few teams you'll see play very aggressive style of offense while on the penalty kill. They're definitely not just flinging the puck down there trying to catch a bunch of icing calls, but they're attacking, trying to get shorthanded goals.
Yeah, Robbie Spaulding there fired the shot, but deflected up and over the glass, so we'll face it off in the Cougar zone. So Roseville with an opportunity now. They've been outshot in this game 8-1 so far. There's a shot fired from the point by Spaulding on the rebound, nearly put in. Looks like the net will come off the mooring.
Stutz took a hit.
Yeah. And the net popped loose as well as they're trying to pick up the rebound. It was, I believe, David Anderson.
There's no look. Crashing in towards the net after the shot upcoming. Looks like we're right there. Stutz into the breadbasket. There's a rebound. He makes the save and he takes a skate.
Yeah.
That's got to sting.
Well, he's shaking out the cobwebs right now, and looks like he'll be all right. Whacks himself in the head a couple times with the stick. He's all set.
Skate can be used as a weapon.
Apparently so.
Interesting how you can shake off a hit by hitting yourself.
Yes. Under a minute left to go on the Roseville power play. Haven't been much of a threat. They've gotten a couple of shots off here. And pass up ahead off the stick of Anderson. Anderson will send it ahead into the corner. Back out to the blue line. Here's Anderson. He'll fire a shot. Stutz up to the task. Anderson on the rebound, and it's flipped up and over the glass, and we'll have a face-off. In the Roseville zone, 10:34 left to go here in the first period of play. 29 seconds left on the penalty to Flynn. And the face-off in the Cougar zone, won by Roseville. Unable to clear as Anderson put it a heck of an effort to try to get it out of there, but still unable to kick it across the blue line. And he's going to throw it across with his glove, and finally does clear the zone. I guess whatever works for you. Well, as long as one of your teammates doesn't pick it up. But he was able to clear it out.
That's the longest shot on goal I think I've seen in quite some time from behind his own net.
Yes. And the Cougars back at full strength as Flynn out of the box will head over to the bench. Picked up on the far side by Donnie Hochbrunn. He sent it ahead, and it's picked up there by Roseville's Peter Morrison. Hochbrunn tries to get it across the blue line. He's upended, no call.
Leveling hit Peter Morrison.
And fighting in the corner, Josh Berggren for the Cougars. Battle along the boards is Ben Pendergrass for Centennial double team. There's the centering pass, but right onto the stick of Justin Hanna, the leading scorer for Roseville. And picking it up at center ice is Hochbrunn. Roseville will dump it in. Icing will be the call, and we'll bring it back outside. Or I should say back to the Roseville zone with 9:14 left to play here in the first period of play.
And what you'll see Roseville play is a very physical style. And Centennial sees that a lot. When you score a lot of goals, chances are they're going to come at you with hits. They're going to put their checking line out there. They're going to try to put some bodies on you. And Centennial has seen a lot of physicality this year, and they respond well. And the thing that I'm surprised is that they don't respond with cheap shots and pick up penalties, which is pretty common in high school hockey.
Well, one thing too, there's
opportunity in front of the net, but a great
shot.
Clear by R.J. Anderson.
That didn't look like it was going to develop into much, but it certainly did as the puck trickled out in front of the net, and Stutz had to make the stop. But the point I was about to make, 5 players for Centennial over 200 pounds, none for Roseville, and it's hard to get physical with a team that has got a size advantage on you.
Yeah, that's right. And Centennial, they got a couple heavy hitters out there. Montgomery's a big guy. R.J. Anderson's a big guy. And the big hitter that Centennial's got is Dominic Palma. He's more than willing to throw his frame around.
Yeah, Dominic, a 6'3", 205-pound forward for the Cougars. Picking up the puck at center ice.
Big hit, Flynn.
Andy Capistrant, and nearly decapitated as he loses the puck. And there's a centering pass, but it goes through in the slot. Picked up there by Tony
shot in front, it's a goal.
Shot in a goal. I didn't get a good look at that. Was that Greg Flynn?
I want to say that was Greg Flynn, but it might have been Ryan Flynn coming up from underneath here. Let's take a look at the shot. Somehow squirts through, and it's a rebound in front, and that one's just slammed back in.
I think you're right. Ryan Flynn, I believe, put that in the net.
As long as one of the Flynns get credit, their parents are happy. That one's Ryan Flynn.
Assist to return to Mike Montgomery and number 6, Tony Palmer. Time 9:02.
That comes at 9:02.
Ryan Flynn scoring for the Cougars
And
from
Flynn from Montgomery and Palma. So
9:02.
there's another opportunity for the Cougars as this could start getting ugly for Roseville if they can't slow the Cougars down, as they've been coming in waves so far here. Now we're going to have another penalty.
Ryan Flynn already picking up his second penalty. It's taking a look at this one. The shot, it's blocked, and then both players coming into each other, but Ryan Flynn getting called for the extra poke, bringing his stick up there against Kyle Odegaard. And Ryan Flynn will be the one. Actually, both of them will be going to the box, so I think that's a pretty good call on the officials' part.
Centennial penalty on number 12, Ryan Flynn. 2 minutes roughing. Roseville penalty, number 14, Kyle Odegaard. 2 minutes roughing. Time
Roughing will be the call on both players as Odegaard will go in as well. So we'll play 4 to a side for 2 minutes. And we have another whistle and another penalty coming. Interference will be the call. And now Roseville will get the power play.
Well, Ryan Flynn already getting himself all over the paperwork here. He's got 2 penalties and a goal.
And an assist.
And an assist. And now Josh Bergeron's going to join him in the box for the interference call. Taking a look at that. They just got kind of tied up there, but Bergeron will be serving time for that one. It'll be a 2-minute power play for Roseville.
So Roseville on their second power play of the night. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. They only got about 3 shots off on their first power play. Cougars trying to control as Tim Ornell digging for it, one of the captains for the Cougars. Out on top, Spalding. Passes down along the far boards. And there's a shot fired right into the midsection of Stutz. He'll gather it in. Net pops off the mooring as well, and we'll have a face-off.
Here's another look at this one. Roseville trying to get something going here with a 2-0 deficit. And trying to hook from behind on the weak side, but shot comes in. Stutz adds a little punch with the glove.
Got to get that extra shot in there anytime you can if you're the goalkeeper. Probably still smarting from that skate in the face earlier. And the Cougars do clear the zone. 1:15 left to go on the power play. Taken along the far boards by Mike Dorr. Mike, the younger of the Doors, only a 9th grader.
Well, they have Morrison and they have Doors. All right.
There you go. What more can you ask for?
It all comes together. Well, we covered Tri-City game in the quarterfinal, and they had a couple of books. They're just a couple short of a library.
Oh, okay.
They had 3 sets of brothers on the Tri-City team.
Well, it's easy to do when you got 3 different schools involved as well.
Yeah. And on this one, we have the Flynn brothers. And Tom Goralski's got a younger brother on the JV team. Derek Goralski, I believe.
And also the Palma brothers as well.
Yes, Dominic and Tony Palma.
So Centennial with 3 brothers on one team. And missing the opportunity there was Mike Farah for Roseville. Pops back out to center ice, picked up there by Tom Cruiser.
8 seconds on the power play, so this one appears it's going to be killed.
And the Cougars able to flip at the length of the ice, and the Cougars back at full strength. And apparently the penalties to Flynn and Odegaard are of the 5-minute major variety, because they are still in the box. Pass along around the boards, picked up on the far side by Hannah.
It could just be a fun hangout spot.
Yeah, it could be.
And maybe they got some DVD players in there. Who knows? PlayStation 2.
Josh Bergeron dumps it in behind the net. He'll chase after it himself. Puck still loose behind the net. Picked up back there by Cruiser for Roseville. Out to center ice and into the corner. As flipping it in was Mike Dorr. Around the boards it goes and into the corner, picked up by Greg Flynn. And out to center ice and into the Centennial bench. We'll have a face-off at center ice as Sam Dorr flipped it into the Cougars bench. 4:11 left to go here in the first period. Cougars on top by a score of 2-0. And Roseville starting to even up the shots a little bit. 12-8 that last power play. They were able to get a couple shots off.
Roseville done a pretty good job since giving up that second goal, changing the momentum, because this could landslide out of control really quickly with Centennial scoring. But Roseville's done a pretty good job. They're getting shots on goal. Right now they just need to put one in. Centennial momentum in this game, and also momentum this season. 22-game win streak for the Cougars coming into this game.
Yeah, as I mentioned, after that loss in the early season back in December 6th, a day that will live in infamy for the Cougars as they lost to Edina. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Yeah, you got to have a mark on your record somewhere.
And picked up by Vermillion, and his pass to Ryan Flynn a little too far, and the battle along the far boards. Centering pass broken up before Montgomery can get a stick on it. Comes to the near side. Hochbrud flips it around back behind the net. Control at the top of the slot, and the shot fired in by Anderson. Another nice save by Kriegler.
Taking a look at this play. Coming from behind the net, trying to clear. Could not get it out, and shot right into the breadbasket of Kriegler. So a face-off in the Raider zone.
Around the boards, nobody over there for Centennial. We'll have a battle in the corners, 6 players, 3 on each side, and coming out with it is Kyle Odegaard. Odegaard passes it ahead, nobody there for Roseville, and here comes Ben Alilla. Alilla had a hat trick against Roseville when they played earlier this season. And Odegaard offsides. We'll bring it back outside the zone as
instead of leading with the puck, he was leading.
He went in ahead of the puck and will be called for the offsides as he skates off on the line change.
So we have offsides.
You're going to want to watch out for that Ben Alilla-Tom Goralski combination. 1, because they'll put some points up on the board with that. And number 2, when they get together, the gorilla comes out. And that's what you don't want, is the gorilla on your back.
Montgomery tries to clear it out, but instead puts it right out in the slot. Fortunately, he had a couple of teammates there. One went off the end of his stick, picked up by Morrison. Alilla will bring it back around from behind the net to Montgomery. Montgomery out to center ice, where Vermillion with the cross-rink pass. Down to 2 minutes to play here in the first period. And what has been a fairly entertaining game so far. Anderson around the boards for Flynn. Flynn can't dig it out of the corner. Finally does, but he'll lose it back behind the net where it's picked up by Spaulding. Nice battle between Spaulding and Flynn. They'll take it to the far side. Losing the puck is Tony Palma. And it's picked up there by Tom Cruiser. Up ahead, and sending it through is Brian Week. But the Cougars control once again. Roseville unable to mount anything that resembles much of an offensive threat so far in the last few minutes.
The crowd's kind of quiet, Dave. Expecting a little bit more noise.
Well, the Roseville fans are seeing their team down by 2, and for the Cougar fans, I think they've seen this all before, so they'll get more excited as the game wears on, I have a feeling. But yeah, it's a very subdued crowd so far tonight as the puck's picked up in the Roseville zone by Sandor. He'll clear it out to center ice. Losing it momentarily was Hochbrunn. Hochbrunn across the blue line. Down to about 40 seconds left to play. Pass up ahead. Here comes Roseville on the charge as Hanna checked off the puck as he comes across the blue line. Will be picked up by Hochbrunn. Hochbrunn loses it in the corner. It's picked up over there by Luckow. Pass up ahead. Centering pass and a shot. Nice save once again by Kriegler. And puck being deflected around in the Roseville zone. Very dangerous for the Raiders. 1 second. And icing was called, but not until the buzzer sounded. So at the end of 1 period of play, it's the Cougars 2 and the Raiders nothing.
Welcome back to the Coliseum at the Minnesota State Fair. Cougars leading the Roseville Raiders by a score of 2-0. Let's take a look at how Centennial got here. Section 3AA quarterfinal. Centennial taking on 3 cities, Brooklyn Center, Columbia Heights, and Sibley. They call themselves the Tri-City Stars. First period, Craig Henry, the shot, it's blocked, stolen away by Tim Ornell, and he deposits it in the proper recycling bin labeled rubber. Tim Ornell unassisted. It's 1-0 Cougars. The Stars kill a penalty, then get a 2-on-1 break. Conrad Book to Chris Amek, back to Book, goal. They tie it up at 1, just under 9 minutes left in the first. The Stars strike again. Glyden to Amek, to Conrad Book. Book's second goal in the first period. Stars lead 2-1. People, a little bit shocked here, but it did not take long for the Cougars to respond. From the ensuing faceoff, R.J. Anderson and Travis Vermillion are going to play 2-on-5. Anderson brings it in, passes to Vermillion, who leaves it for Anderson, who leaves it to the scoreboard operator to chalk up his goal. Fist pump, feels good. I hit you, I hit you, I hit you in the head, I hit you in the head. Punches of love, it's punch love. And then Ben O'Lilla, the shot, rebound, put back in by Tim Ornell. He slammed to the ice, but not before he scores his second goal, assisted by Ryan Flynn and Ben O'Lilla. 3-2 Cougars. Under a minute left in the first. Hard shot by O'Lilla, deflected all the way out to Dominic Palma. Big slap shot, Ben O'Lilla getting a piece of the lumber on it. Deflection goal, Ben O'Lilla. Assist to Palma and Ornell. Cougars 4-2 after the first. We go 13 minutes in the second before we get a score when Ryan Flynn takes dead aim and beats Roddy. Assist to Vermillion, 5-2 Cougars. Another quick scoring strike, again off the ensuing faceoff. Greg Flynn, the behind-the-back pass to Josh Berggren, who makes some nifty moves, and then dishes to Jordan Van Gilder for the goal. Somehow, Anderson gets the assist instead of Flynn, and they credit Pendergrass with the goal. Interesting. 6-2 after 2. Third period, Ryan Flynn and Tim Ornell behind the net. Ornell to R.J. Anderson, one-timer goal. 2 times for R.J., assist to Ornell and O'Lilla. Again, a Flynn not getting his assist. What's up? The fans came to see the Flynns. No respect. Then watch this. From Ryfly, the no-look pass, R.J. Anderson shot, little high, but then Ryfly out to Vermillion. It's a goal. 8-2 Cougars. Assist Mike Montgomery and Ryan Flynn. The crowd's loving it. But where's RJ's assist? Coach Oss and I want to know who's keeping track of this stuff. Well, at least there's running time, as RJ Anderson goes top shelf on this one. His third goal, we call that a hat trick, assisted by Donnie Hochbrun. 3 goals and 1 assist for RJ Anderson. Let's take a look at the sweet goal going top shelf where Grandma likes to keep the organic peanut butter. She doesn't have to bend over. A 12-save win for Greg Stutz and those luscious locks of his. Cougars win 9-2. They move on to the semifinals to face the Roseville Raiders. All right, we'll be right back from the Coliseum at the Minnesota State Fair. It's the Cougars 2, the Raiders 0. We'll be right back in the second period right after this. Welcome back to the Coliseum at the State Fairgrounds in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's Roseville Raiders 0, Centennial Cougars 2. Taking a quick look at the Section 3AA boys hockey bracket. Centennial defeated the Tri-City of Fridley Columbia Heights Brooklyn Center by a score of 9-2 in the first round. And it was Roseville defeating Mounds View 6-5. Come from behind victory. And then Hill Murray defeated Stillwater 5-0. White Bear Lake defeated North St. Paul 3-1 in the first round. And then in the semifinals on Monday, Hill Murray, a come-from-behind win over White Bear Lake 5-4. It was B.J. Thompson scoring a goal, 1:47 left in the third period. And then Jay Cascalenda in overtime gave Hill Murray the win. And so the winner of tonight's game will meet the Pioneers in the section final. Hill Murray's actually the number 3 seed. They defeated number 2 White Bear Lake, and I know a lot of Centennial fans were looking forward to a rematch with White Bear Lake, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to ask Coach Oss about that, but we kind of ran out of time when we were talking before the game, whether they were relieved that they didn't have to face White Bear Lake or if they were looking forward to the opportunity to try to knock off the Bears in the section championship game.
Well, I can answer that question from the players and the fans' perspective. They definitely wanted to see White Bear Lake in the section finals. taking a look at the first period stats, of course, Cougars leading 2-0 in score. Shots on goal, Cougars 15 and the Raiders 5. Neither team able to score on the power play.
That was about 12-3 at one point, so Roseville did a nice job coming back on that.
And the penalties in the first period, Andy Capistrant high sticking at 2:13, and then Kyle Odegaard, a roughing major at 9:28, and that was along with Ryan Flynn at the time. Ryan Flynn picked up his first penalty for tripping at 4:55, and then Josh Bergman for interference at 9:50. All players onto the ice start the second period. First period scoring, R.J. Anderson assisted by Ryan Flynn at 4:18, and then Ryan Flynn adding the second goal. And here we go underway with the second period.
All right, the Raiders come away with it off the face-off, and we'll try to apply some pressure here, but it's picked up in his own zone by Tony Palma. Try to clear it out, but there's a shot fired wide from the point by Sam Dorr. And Centennial able to clear it. Yeah, Kenton, you and I were talking a little bit during the break. Hill Murray with a little bit of an advantage here. They get about a 4-day break before the section championship game. Whoever wins this game tonight will only get a 2-day turnaround time before they have to play in the section championship.
Yeah, and that's a nice rest in a tournament where when you lose, you go home. It's nice to get that extra 2 days rest and be a little bit more physical in the onset of the game, and especially when the third period comes around and conditioning really comes into play.
Yeah, especially when you're going into a state tournament that it's bang, 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 3 days and it's over. You're going to need a lot of energy in that tournament, so those extra days off really help out. So we'll see if it helps Hill Murray at all, but in the meantime, back to the action. We have two players go down on the heap. Fans wanted a whistle, but the officials say play on, and dumping it in as he comes into the slot was Robbie Spalding, but can't hang on.
Flynn.
Here's Flynn, drops the pass and a shot to goal!
Beautiful behind the back pass, dropping it for R.J. Anderson, and Rajon going top shelf. Here's another look at this one. Ryan Flynn brings it in the zone, and what a pass. Check this out, no look pass, and R.J. right over the left shoulder of Kriegler. Top shelf where grandma likes to keep the organic peanut butter.
So Anderson makes it a 3-0 game.
His second of the game, started at 9, R.J. Anderson. Assist number 12, Ryan Flynn. Time, 1 point.
So Flynn will pick up another assist as he now has a goal and 2 assists in this game, and he's had a pretty decent night if you take away the penalties.
Yeah, and Flynn's another kid that I think.
Yeah, Ryan Flynn, just a phenomenal season, and he's one of those players that Division I colleges have had their eye on for some time. And I'm not sure where any of these players are going to school. I did hear where Tom Gorowski was going, but it's escaped my mind. But a lot of these players, Division I recruits, and just a very deep team. We were talking a little bit earlier about Hill Murray having 4 days rest, Centennial only having 2, but to Centennial's credit, they have an extremely deep team, and that should play a factor.
Well, the Cougars once again with the puck in the Roseville
Another
zone.
centering pass.
Yeah, last time I talked to Coach Oss about it, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Gorowski hadn't decided yet. And Stutz is actually looking at playing junior hockey, so you may see him in the USHL here pretty quick.
A lot of these players with just such great potential. Greg Stutz, I know he hasn't seen a lot of shots this year because the defense is so strong that his save percentage won't be high, but his goals against average definitely reflects his skill and the skill of his defense. And it's a tough thing to gauge how good a goalie is when you don't see a lot of shots, especially in the conference season. But I think the state tournament, should they get there, will really prove Greg Stutz' mettle, and that'll be the test. A lot of colleges and USHL teams and the hockey world will kind of have their eyes on Centennial, and especially Greg Stutz between the pipes.
And we're going to bring it back down to the Roseville zone for the face-off. Puck was played with a high stick. That's why we're bringing it back this way. But yeah, I know if Stutz does head into junior league play, he'll get his opportunity to face a lot of shots, as the defense not necessarily a strength in junior hockey. these days. There's a pass right out in front, and the puck popped up over the net. Great opportunity there for Tim Ornell.
And Tim Ornell is just one of those players that is all over the ice, and he often finds himself right in front of the net for either rebounds or deflections. Along with Ben Olilla, they just have great positioning on the ice, right where the puck seems to be.
Gorowski sent it around the board there. We haven't mentioned his name many times tonight. He hasn't been much of a factor so far in this game, but I'm sure you'll see him.
Tim Ornell?
No, Gorowski.
Tom Gorowski.
Yes.
They might be taking it easy with Tom Gorowski.
Yep.
And one reason is because a lot of other teams like to key on him, checking him. It's kind of the old, hurt their best guy kind of thing.
Exactly.
Bring their physicality. It happens to Marion Gabrick of the Wild, and most teams will usually key on the other team's score. Tom Gorowski's a pretty tough player, and he's hung on all throughout the year. He's only missed one game, and that was the quarterfinal round. So we'll be able to see how well he plays in this game. It'll be his first game back.
Well, Spalding dumps one in. I've been pretty impressed with Spalding's play so far tonight. He's done a nice job for Roseville. Here's an opportunity, but a 1-on-2 opportunity there for Ryan Flynn, and
very strong. He just absorbing the hits.
Yes. And the puck loose along the boards. We'll bring it back outside the zone as it popped up and over the glass. There you get a good look at Ryan Flynn out there taking a licking and keep on ticking. As I don't know how he fought his way through the two Roseville defenders, but somehow he managed to get a shot off.
They must go through the drill where they have the gauntlet of everybody just hitting you with pads, and you got to stay on your skates, because that's what I would do.
Stay on your skates, or
no? I definitely wouldn't. I can't stay on my skates if you blew it in my direction. In the general vicinity of me, I'd fall over. But if I were a coach, I would hit my players with pads repeatedly, just for the fun of it, if nothing else.
Well, winding up for the big slat shot there was Anderson, and he fanned on
very dangerous play.
And nearly gives one up.
He just wanted to make things exciting for himself down there.
Exactly.
And he did a good job of that.
And he has to sprawl to get back to the net. Very fortunate on that play. Here's an opportunity. Backhanded shot and a save. Nice job by Kriegler. And the Raiders able to clear the zone, but icing will be the call. We'll bring it back with 11:50 left to play here in the second period. It's the Cougars up on top by a score of 3-0.
It is just amazing how quickly Centennial gets on offense from defense. We're going to take another look at this. Greg Stutz attempting to clear the puck, stolen away, and the diving stick save. That's how you pull one out. But Centennial, as I was saying, they'll turn from defense to offense, and suddenly they're on a 2-on-1 break before you even know it, with a centering pass in front of somebody, and it just happens from what seems like nothing. They can generate offense at almost any point in the game.
Well, this time the Cougars unable to clear. Spalding, guess who? They're with the shot, and dangerous pass out in front, right in the crease. Puck loose out in front once again, and this time Stutz will scoop it up in the glove and force the faceoff. He hasn't had to do that many times tonight.
And here's another look. Stutz not able to break out the hammock and take a little nap on this one, as the puck dangerously sitting in the front. It's cleared out, and that's always dangerous for the goalie when you have so many players in front of the net and you got a shot coming at you. You're not able to see it all the time. Another glove save for Stutz, but
yeah, that one may have been better advised to let that one go. It was aimed wide, but he snared it out of the air nonetheless to force another faceoff. And here we'll see that one as the shot well wide. It's headed back behind the net, but no harm done as puck loose behind the net off the faceoff, picked up there by Greg Flint. And here's the pass out to center ice, broken up, and right back in. Stutz has a jump over his stick, but Greg Flynn there to pick it up. Out to center ice. Long pass ahead, and it's picked up there by Tom Cruiser. Cruiser nearly had it poked off of his stick.
Ben Pendergrass.
Yeah, Pendergrass in on the play. And Stutz out of the net once again. We'll flip it around the boards. Pendergrass can't get to it. And here comes Roseville back the other way. But they forgot the puck as it didn't make it across the blue line. Battle along the boards, and here come the Cougars. Bring it out.
Here comes Gorowski. That's Ornell.
And that shot stopped, covered up once again by Kriegler.
And along with the Cougars' scoring ability, their passing, their defense, all those things comes the fundamentals. They do a lot of the little things very well, and that's one of the things that makes them very tough to beat, is there's not a lot of breakdowns. They're very good on the face-off. Tom Gorowski, an extremely strong face-off winner. And they just do some of the small things so well that they're just tough to beat.
Another shot off the pads of Kriegler. That one straight in. Wraparound pass, but nobody there for the Cougars. And here come the Raiders back the other way. As losing the puck was David Anderson. Dumping it in wide. Sam Dorr. And it's picked up behind the net. Off the stick of Ornell. And the battle at center ice. This one pops out. Stutz will just cover it up. Bearing down on him was Justin Hanna, and the leading scorer for Roseville was not going to get an opportunity to get a stick on that puck.
After the quarterfinal game versus Tri-City, some of the Roseville players and fans were there, and I overheard some of them talking about they knew Centennial's weakness and they were going to try to exploit it. I'm not sure what it was. I didn't overhear that part, but they said they knew Centennial's weakness, and the next time they meet them, they were going to defeat them.
What's that, lock them in the locker room? Or, I mean, this is a team that on paper has no weaknesses. That one fired from the top of the slot by Spalding. And once again, Stutz picks it up. Craig Henry out on the ice for the Cougars. No, check that. That was Flynn. I thought I saw an 11, but it was a 12. There's a puck loose out in front. Another opportunity, and Kriegler once again comes up with the stop. Here's Hanna, and he'll lose it as he skates into the Cougar zone. You're not going to get much going 1-on-3, and that's pretty much what Roseville's been trying to do here. Battle along the boards. Flynn comes away with it. He won't get far, though. And it's picked up by Spalding. He'll pass it up ahead to center ice. And it'll be picked up and cleared back out by the Cougars. Ryan Flynn along the boards. And Craig Henry having trouble with it right into the midsection of Stutz. He'll just let it bounce back out. Nobody out in front of the net. And the Cougars will clear.
And I know,
and icing will be the call.
I know part of what Roseville wanted to do is to try to catch the Cougars off guard, get them on a break, use their speed, get down the ice, possibly get a breakaway, a 2-on-1 break, and possibly beat Stutz, because that's how the Stars scored both of their goals, was on the breakaway. So that's something they wanted to do. And they also felt that they could get Tom Gorowski off the ice, that they would be able to beat Centennial. However, you know, as good as Tom Gorowski is, and he is good, Centennial goes well beyond Gorowski.
So another roughing call on Odegaard, his second of the night. And we'll have the second power play opportunity for the Cougars tonight. That one fired up high over the net. And Roseville able to clear it the length of the ice. Stutz will drop it back. Minute and a half left to go on the power play. Up ahead to Gorowski. Gorowski, nice move at center ice. Passes over to the far side. Anderson fires a shot wide. Olilla will give chase into the corner. Gorowski will come away with it. And yeah, you can tell Kenton Gorowski's not at 100% out there. He's moving kind of slow, but he's out there trying nonetheless. Anderson loses the puck as bringing it back is Hanna. And Hanna's shot deflected back behind the net. Passing it up ahead is Greg Flynn. They get themselves onside. Flynn over to the far side, and nobody over there but someone in a black jersey. That was Anderson for Roseville. The centering pass a little bit too far, and it will be collected by R.J. Anderson. Anderson to Gorowski. Gorowski looking for Olilla, but passed it behind him. He'll regroup, take it to the far side. Over to Anderson. Anderson shot from the top of the slot. Rebounded out in front, and the Puck once again through the crease. Anderson. Gorowski shoots and scores.
And there's your Tom Gorowski right there. And that's one of the things that Centennial will try to do on the power play, so effective. We'll take a look at this. Tom Gorowski is going to bring it back up to the point with R.J. Anderson. Watch where Tom Gorowski goes. He's going to come back into the slot, into the face-off circle. They're going to bring it cross ice with a man in front. And Tom Gorowski hits that one-timer on the near side, beats Kriegler. Centennial does that so effectively.
So Gorowski will pick up his 38th goal of the year on the power play.
And you know what, Dave? You don't need 100% Tom Gorowski on the power play. You know, hamstring is a tough injury to have in hockey. You're not able to use a lot of your speed. But on the power play, he can find that slot position. He can get inside the face-off circle, and with pinpoint accuracy, he can put that one past the goalie.
And then the assists on that play go to Greg Flynn and R.J. Anderson. As Anderson now with 2 goals and an assist in this one. Centering pass there was broken up by Pendergrast. Puck along the near boards, and Roseville will try to mount a charge here, down by 4 here in the second period. They've been outshot 23-5. Hustling over is Spalding, but he can't control, and Spalding will try to bring it out, taken off his stick. And Pendergrast fires one right into the midsection of the defenseman, Tom Cruiser. A little pushing and shoving after the play, and no harm, no foul. So
here's another look. After Tom Cruiser takes a nice puck to the pectoral, then he gets a nice check for good measure. I don't know if I would do that, but whatever you got to do to stop the pucks.
Greg Flynn will bring it over to the near side for Mike Montgomery. Montgomery will dump it in, back behind the net. And it's picked up there by Sam Dorr. Raiders just working hard just to get the puck out of their own zone, as the Cougars beating them to all the loose pucks. Near side, Vermillion can't get to it, and we're going to have a whistle, a delayed penalty. And tripping will be the call, and it will go on Roseville.
Here's another look as just brought down in the corner, the left leg tripping him up, and 21 John Kretschmer will go to the box. It'll be another Cougar power play. No one scored in the power play so far in this contest. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Centennial just scored a power play goal, Tom Gorowski. So Centennial, I believe, one of two on the power play so far.
Correct. And Roseville 0 of 2. Gorowski goes down with a little help there. And here come the Raiders back the other way. Mike Dorr skates all the way in. Stutz will just poke it away. Battle along the boards. David Anderson trying to dig it out for the Raiders, but the Cougars come away with the puck. And here comes Centennial. Greg Flynn will try to get a shot off, and Kriegler will cover it up to force the face-off here with 4:06, a minute 26 left to go in the Centennial power play.
Here's another look. Greg Flynn, very strong player, brings it in, takes the shot. Kriegler able to make the stop. But face-off down in the Roseville end. A little over 4 minutes remaining in the second. Centennial scoring about 2 goals each period here. Roseville yet to get on the board. It's something they're going to want to correct if they want to come back in this one. They've had 2 comebacks in 2 games. Trying to pull off a third one here in the semifinal round.
Well, the Cougars very patient here on the power play. Ryan Flynn will take it over to the far side. Here's Flynn from the top of the slot. Puck loose. Was laying on top of the leg. And finally, Kriegler finds it, but he just kind of leaned over to cover up the puck, and he had it laying right on top of his pad.
Okay, here's when I look at this one. Nice shot from the point, getting it past, and just barely kept that one from squeezing between the leg and the arm.
Off the face-off into the corner, and Cougars come away with it. Out on top, Ryan Flynn. And will lose the puck, nearly poked out of there. Centering pass goes through the crease, and Montgomery handles it on the near side. Back out on top to Flynn. Flynn, puck deflected out in front. Nearly poking it in there was Dominic Palma.
Dominic Palma, just a big body that you're going to have a hard time pushing out in front of the goal.
Montgomery with an opportunity off the pass from Pendergrass. Just fired that one wide to the left. Here's Montgomery. He'll take it to the far side. Pendergrass will dig it out of the corner. Montgomery, backhanded shot. And once again, Kriegler will cover up.
And Mike Montgomery's one of those players who had a very strong section tournament last year. A very talented hockey player. He's a junior on this Cougar team, and you know, he can play on the second or third line, and this Cougar team is just so deep. You can have the third line play with the first line of the majority of the teams around.
There's another opportunity for Gorowski. Same play that they ran last time, and just couldn't quite finish as he fired that one just a few inches wide. And now Roseville back at full strength as they survive another Centennial power play. Chasing it down to the corner is Cruiser. He sent it back out to center ice, goes all the way through, and icing will be the call. We'll bring it back to the Roseville zone with 2:27 left to play here in the second period, and the Cougars on top by 4. Well, Centennial showing their size and speed advantage that they've had most of the year.
And they'll definitely have Gorowski in the face-off circle whenever he's in the contest.
And once again, Gorowski wins it. R.J. Anderson along the boards. Olilla back to Gorowski. A pretty strong scoring threat from any one of those three players. And Roseville clears it out to center ice. Hochbrunn will try to send it back, but picking it up, centering pass, and a shot and a goal. Mike Dorr will make it a 4-1 game.
And that was Roseville's 2-on-1 break they were looking for. It was Dorr on the opposite side. No one left to put a body on him. A great job bringing that one in and making a nice pass. And it's tough for the goalie to get to the other side that quickly. And Roseville finally putting one on the board. That'll help them here late in the second period. And I believe it was David Anderson that made that nice pass to Mike Dorr.
And Morrison also picking up an assist on that one. For Dorr, his 12th goal of the season.
And there's not a lot of premier goal scorers on this Raiders team.
Yeah, they pretty much score by committee. They have 2 players in the 30-point range and then about 5 in the 20s as far as total points. So not a lot of offense on this team. They only average 3.6 goals a game.
Ryan Flynn just getting abused every time he even thinks about touching the puck.
Well, he and Anderson getting the bulk of the scoring here for the Cougars tonight. Picked up by Tony Palma. He'll bring it behind the net and leave it there for Greg Flynn. Battle along the far boards. Under a minute to go here in the period. Knocked down at the blue line. Nice job keeping it in at the point by Spalding. And the Cougars clear it out as Spalding will chase it back into his own zone. Knocked down at the blue line by the Cougars. Puck loose at center ice. Scramble for it. And picking it up in his own zone is Tom Cruiser. Cougars just content to run out the clock here as we're down a big hit at center ice.
That's Tony Palma.
Yeah, Jake Bark taking the brunt of the blow there.
I'd say little brother, but I have to choose my words and say younger brother of Dominic Palma.
There you go. And that will be the end of the second period of play as the Cougars on top by a score of 4-1. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to the State Fair Coliseum, Section 3AA semifinals. The Roseville Raiders and the Centennial Cougars. So far, Cougars on top 4-1, but a plus side for the Raiders. They did score with a little over 2 minutes left in the period. Taking a look at the game summary through 2 periods. 29 shots for the Cougars, 16 for the Raiders. Cougars 1 of 3 on the power play and fairly even in penalty minutes. Taking a look at the second period scoring. It was R.J. Anderson scoring, assisted by Ryan Flynn at 1:40 into the period. And then on the power play, Tom Gorowski scored, assisted by Greg Flynn and R.J. Anderson. That made it a 4-0 game. Then the Raiders did get on the board. Mike Dorr scored, assisted by Anderson and Morrison. That goal, 14:57, so 2:03 remaining in the period, giving Rose a little momentum going into the intermission break. We'll see how they respond here in the third period.
Yeah, we'll see if they can capitalize on that momentum as we go into the final period of play and possibly the final period of play for the Roseville Raiders this season, as the juggernaut, also known as the Centennial Cougars, tries to continue their season and make their way to the state tournament.
Now, a juggernaut is separate from an astronaut, correct?
That is correct.
All right, I had
sir.
to just verify that.
Yes. If we're talking astronauts, I guess it would be a stellar performance, as Kriegler will cover up and force the face-off.
Stick lodged underneath Tom Gorowski's chin. And we'll take a look at this replay here. Puck stuck in the corner, a little shove to Gorowski. And the shot fired in, covered up, and you couldn't see the end of the play where Tom Gorowski was offered, one of the Roseville players offered his stick as a chin strap. However, the helmets come with their own chin strap, so he didn't need use of that. And that goal just a little bit off the pipe. We'll have to reset that.
I think Kriegler would like to just turn that around and face it the other direction. Yeah, just turn it around the other way.
I think they should mix things up and let it face in different directions, kind of add a little spice to the game.
Yeah, just as long as you keep it in your zone, just let the goal float.
Yeah, like air hockey.
We may be onto something here. Yeah.
Air hockey.
Yeah.
That should be a high school sport. We'd cover that. Just
yeah, I can
gigantic
even do color
air
on that
hockey.
one. I used to be an expert at air hockey back in the 70s. Back when the game was invented, I was one of the pioneers of air hockey. Here's Anderson with a centering pass, and Vermillion can't get the stick on it.
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere. Maybe I saw it on a documentary.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was that long-haired kid. And there's a shot covered up.
Well, the shots keep coming for the Cougars. They are not going to relent even with a 4-1 lead here in the third. They're going to keep those shots coming. That shot coming off the skate of number
Spalding.
8 of Roseville. That was Robbie Spalding. And you got to be aware that the Cougars, they'll look for deflections in front of the net, shooting from behind the net. They like to mix things up and catch the defense off guard.
Here's Greg Flynn's pass inside to Dominic Palma, but had to go off the outside of his stick and back behind the net. Battle in the corner for it. And bounces back into the Roseville zone. Right to the near side. We'll have a delayed penalty called as Capistrant picks it up. And we'll check the call here. High stick will be the call, and it will go on Roseville. There's another unneeded penalty for the Raiders.
Here's another look at it up in the corner, and just a vicious hook with the stick, bringing it up into the face. And that's going to draw a penalty. Eric Lensing, 2 minutes for the high stick. So Centennial on the power play so far 1 of 2. And there's 2 of 3. Tim Ornell on the backside, right on the doorstep, puts the one-timer in the net, and Centennial takes a 5-1 lead.
No, I didn't even get a chance to see that one as I was looking down, writing down the information on the penalty. Here we'll get another look.
Just a great job moving the puck around. It did not take long, and Tim Ornell in great position as he just flat out beat David Anderson to the spot and puts it right in, almost uncontested.
Well, that'll come at 150. Dorowski and Olilla on the assists on that one. Was that thunder that I just heard a moment ago?
Either that or the elephants outside are getting very antsy. You never really think how much food an elephant actually needs until you purchase one. Take it from me. They eat a lot.
I'll take your word for it. I've never owned an elephant, but I have owned 2 teenagers and
and a yak. We won't go there.
Yes. Meanwhile, back to the game. It's picked up at center ice and flipped in by Greg Flynn.
Don't you just love hockey, Dave?
I adore it.
Good. I wish I knew more about it. It would really help in the commentation aspect. I think it's pretty obvious to those who know hockey that when I commentate hockey, you realize I know nothing about hockey.
Well, I followed it severely as a young child and then moved to Iowa where I picked up the game of basketball. And so it's been a reawakening to me coming back to Minnesota and relearning the game of hockey.
So you learned hockey severely, and I was just severely beaten by hockey players.
There you go.
So we got a lot in common.
But you see, I'm used to old-time hockey, so, you know. Eddie Shore, you know, those, no.
I know Bobby Orr, not personally, but.
Okay. I was just stealing a line from the movie Slap Shot.
Yeah, I did see that a long time ago. It's been a while.
No, I growing up in Chicago, grew up watching Bobby Hull, Stan Mikita, Whitey Stapleton, those guys. Back in the good old days when there were only 6 teams.
I grew up watching Neil Broughton and Mike Modano.
Know those guys as well. And there's a nice pass to Pendergrass, but he can't finish as he tries to skate backward by it. Shot fired wide by Josh Berggren.
In front, and Ben Pendergrass.
I believe that's Pendergrass that put it in.
I have no other reason but to believe that was Ben Pendergrass. I trust the kid. Here's a replay. You can't see Pendergrass. You can see the shot come in, and it does trickle past. That's Pendergrass's goal.
Well, that'll come at 3:58. Yep. And make it a 6-1 game as things starting to get out of hand here, and Centennial looks like they're going to cruise to a pretty easy victory here. Barring a miracle on ice.
Here's the replay, and that's Pendergrass. And goes stick side for that goal. Good response by the Cougars coming out in this period and scoring 2 quick goals.
So a 6-1 game. And Roseville trying to mount some offense here in the Cougar zone. Digging forward in the corner, centering pass, nobody there for Roseville. And here come the Cougars back the other way, a little bit too long for Olilla's stick. And the Raiders will send it back out to center ice, picked up there by Tony Palma. Olilla never makes it across the blue line. And it's into the Cougar zone, picked up by R.J. Anderson. Anderson up ahead to Vermillion. Loose along the boards, and Anderson will pick it up. R.J. Anderson across the red line, across the blue line. Here comes Anderson. And he's ridden off the puck back behind the net. Nice job defensively by Tom Cruiser. Dumped by Dorr. Spalding can't control. Cougars keep it in the zone. They're just trying to work some clock here. Vermillion can't get a stick on it. Finally flip it back behind the net for Ryan Flynn. Out on top, I believe that was Greg Flynn. Vermillion out to the point. Hochbrunn sends a shot into the traffic. Ryan Flynn around the boards for Vermillion. Vermillion shoots and scores to make it a 7-1 game.
Cougars just running away with this contest right now, as the Raiders right now just have no response. Taking a look at this play, it's Vermillion the one bringing it around and just no one challenging him. Takes the shot and he beats Kriegler. And we're going to see a new goalie as a result. Ryan Kohler, senior goaltender for Roseville, checking in for the Raiders. And we're going to get a little break time in order for a timeout called by the Raiders.
Well, Kohler's got a nice goals against average. His goals against is only 116, but the downside of that is he's only seen 132 minutes this season.
Yeah, last season Centennial was under the two goalie rotation between Dustin Thompson and Greg Stutz. As we get a look at this goal. And this year, after Thompson's graduated, Greg Stutz has done the majority of the work. Weston Johnson has gotten some play time, especially during the conference season. But they're under one goalie, and Roseville for the most part is too. But at this point, they really have nothing to lose by changing the goaltender.
Yeah, so they will take advantage of the timeout and an opportunity to get the goalie warmed up here. Well, nice crowd on hand, especially now that a lot of the fans trickling in for the second game. We were probably, I don't know, half to 2/3 full earlier. Now we've got a packed house here at the Coliseum. As you said, goaltender continuing to warm up.
Ryan Kohler, only 1.16 goals against average. That's through 132 minutes, and he's given up 3 goals. And both of these teams' backup goalies have lower goals against average, and I think that's probably because they usually play when they play the lesser opponents. Weston Johnson actually, for the majority of the year, had his goal against average under half a goal a game, and he did record 3 shutouts this year. But you know, when you play Monticello, Annandale, and Rogers, you see about 4 or 5 shots, which if you stop all 5 of those shots, you'll get a shutout.
Yeah, and Monticello and Annandale losing last week to Moorhead. I think that game was 27-0, if I remember correctly.
I think they were trying to make a statement there. They lost to Centennial in the season, and they wanted to
take it out on Monticello.
They wanted to take it up because that was a common opponent, the North Suburban Centennial, to play Monticello. And that brings me back. Earlier you were talking about, you know, the fans not cheering for everything, and it was very odd. The Centennial parents don't actually cheer very much at the conference games because they feel it's bad sportsmanship if they cheer after every single goal.
Right.
That they're being poor sports, they're rubbing it in. So they don't go crazy over the goals, especially later in the game. But when they play teams like Wayzata and Duluth East and White Bear Lake, Roseville, then you know they feel more free to get into it because the games are closer.
Yeah, and just to give you an idea of how many goals this team has scored, 8 games this season for Centennial where they've scored double digits, and I think they've had 1 or 2 games where they've scored 20 or more.
And at the beginning of the game, I said Greg Stutz was second in the Metro. He's actually first in the Metro, ahead of Justin Kowalski of Blake.
And there's another shot, a nice stop by the goaltender Kohler. As Kenton furiously digs through his stat sheets here. Cougars will bring it back and regroup at center ice. And dumping it in for the Cougars is Jordan Van Gilders. We'll see a number of jerseys that we have yet to see tonight for the Cougars, now with a 6-goal lead. And here comes Roseville on a breakaway. Stutz hasn't seen any action for about 15 minutes and still hasn't, as a shot was not taken. Only one shot on goal so far for Roseville in this period. Puck loose along the boards. There's a little bit of a trip there, but no whistle, no harm, no foul apparently. And here's Roseville in the corner. Puck pops out in front and a goal. Stutz never saw the puck as it popped out in front, and I'm not sure who poked that in for the Raiders, but they got an easy one there, an open net on the far side. And I believe that might have been Dorr once again. We'll check the call.
Roseville goal, his second of the game. Scored by number 23, Mike Dorr. Says number 18, David Anderson. Time 8:17.
So Dorr from Anderson once again, as they make it a 7-2 game. And once again, Roseville applying some pressure here as Stutz may see a little bit more work now as some of the players that don't get a lot of playing time for the Cougars out there on the ice right now.
We're getting a look at this one. Has a lot of action in front of the net as number 23 for Roseville, Mike Dorr, was sitting right inside the crease.
And there's a backhanded shot and a goal.
That's a pretty good response for the Cougars. Score right back, and they like to do that.
I think that was Mike Montgomery trying to get a look. He slid on his back on the ice and it covered up the numbers on his jersey, but I'm pretty sure that was Montgomery that put that one in.
Here's another look at this. Mike Montgomery put it past Kohler, and that's Montgomery's 22nd goal of the season. James, turn your headset off.
So Flynn will pick up another assist as that one comes in at 8:51.
And it's Centennial Cougars' favorite part of the game, where they have running time.
And something they've seen quite often this year. And hear a little bit of the Cougars fans getting into it a little bit now. I think they feel it's okay to start celebrating a bit now with the 6-goal lead and running time.
I'll tell you one thing, Dave. Kohler's goals against average will be higher than 1.16 after this.
Yes, it will.
And Cougars going a little bit deeper into their bench with their lines, as now they have a 6-goal lead, about 7:15 left in the third. They'll probably rest their front line a little bit more, and they score another goal. Tim Ornell.
And for Ornell, his second goal of the period.
And his 22nd on the year. We'll take another look at this one. As Olilla behind the net feeds great pass to Tim Ornell, and just all alone in front of the nets, and goes through the 5-hole for goal number 9 for the Cougars.
Centennial goal, his second of the game, scored by number 21, Tim Ornell.
And they finally corrected the name in the first round, excuse me, the quarterfinal. They were calling him Tom Ornell, as it states in the program, but PA announcers got it right here. One thing I noticed about Ryan Kohler, he's huge, 6'4". It's a pretty tall goalie, but it's a bigger 5-hole when you go in there, as Tim Ornell just found out. Look at the gap between those
exactly.
two pads.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
It's not necessarily a good thing to have a tall goalie.
Yeah, I was just thinking, although I'm sure he's played hockey all his life, basketball might be something you might want to take a look at there, Mr. Kohler. But
or golf.
Golf works too.
Or tennis.
But at 6'4", I'm sure the Raiders basketball team wouldn't mind having him in at power forward or center. Here's Ryan Flynn with a shot, deflected out in front, and cleared out by the Raiders. 5.5 minutes left to play as we're down to running time. 5:32 to be exact. And I'm sure the Roseville players will take their time getting to the face-off circle here, try to run some more clock off and get this one in the books. And
yeah, Centennial, you know, we've seen it all year. They put up a lot of numbers, and it's really reflective in the stat column, the way they play. Just incredible amount of players in the top 100 scoring in the Metro. There's at one point I counted there was 12 Cougars players in the top 100 for scoring. And there's been at least 9 there all year long. And Tom Gorowski right at the top now. He didn't play in the quarterfinal game, so he dropped behind Blake Wheeler of Breck.
Okay.
But 85 points coming into this game, and he's got a goal, so he's got 38 goals and 86 points. I set a goal. Last year I said next year I hope Tom Gorowski scores 100 points. And it seemed pretty lofty.
Yeah, but it could happen.
It could happen, and if I believe he played in the quarterfinal, he would have had a better chance, but it's still a possibility. 14 more points to go. If they go the distance in the section and state tournaments, that means 4 more games after this one. So it's within his reach still. But I'm sure more than that, the Cougars would like to get to the state tournament as a team goal for the first time. They've made it to the section tournament every year, but you know, every team makes the section tournament. So they want to make it the state tournament. They got closest last year against White Bear Lake, and they just lost in a close game.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 game that they lost.
3-2 game, and you know, they had that bad taste in their mouth all off season, and I believe that motivated them to be even stronger this year, and they just come out gangbusters. And after this win, they'll be 1 game away, and they'll face Hill Murray in that championship game, and I believe that's going to be a great contest on Friday night here at the Coliseum.
And of course, we will have that one for you here on North Metro 15, I presume.
Oh, your presumptions are correct.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know when I talked a few weeks ago with Eric Oss, you know, as you well know, every team before the season sets a team motto, and this year's motto for the Cougars was unfinished business, and it looks like they'll have a great opportunity to finish that business.
I thought you were going to say score 1,000 goals.
That could be too.
Because it seems they set that goal as well, because they sure looks like they've been striving for it.
Now we're down near 3 minutes to play now as the clock ticks away. Running time here in the third period. 9-2 Cougars lead as they've just taken total control of this game. It was a 4-1 game at the end of 2 periods, and the Cougars just came out and put the pedal to the metal and have not looked back in this one. Here's Dorr looking for the hat trick, and he will be ridden off the puck by Matt Catchell, number 4. Pass up ahead, taken there by David Clammer. Let's get some of these names in here.
Jordan
some of these
Van
guys
Gilder, he had a goal in the Tri-City game. He's a very good player, plays both on JV and varsity.
Yeah, trying to get some of these names in, so some of the guys that don't get a lot of ice time get some recognition here. Chasing it down, Greg Flynn. We've heard his name a few times tonight.
And there's a big check from the aforementioned Greg Flynn.
Yep.
And in the past, Centennial, they've had a very good hockey program, and these kids that you see on the ice right now have been playing Bantam and Pee Wee, and they've been part of that strong Centennial youth program where they come up through the system, and they have, you can see in the Centennial Sports Arena, just several state title banners for their Bantams and Pee Wees and their younger clubs.
Well, that's another thing Coach Haas was telling me is, you know, this core group of seniors have been starters since they were sophomores, and they took their lumps early on, but have grown up together. But he was telling me a few weeks ago that the group of sophomores that are playing JV and varsity right now for the Cougars may be better than this group of seniors.
And you know, I believe him because I've been able to catch 2 JV games, you know, prior to varsity games, and I was just astounded by how good the JV team was. And I believe that their JV team could have beat every single team in the North Suburban with the exception of Totino Grace.
And 7 sophomores on the varsity roster, so imagine how good that team would be if all the sophomores were playing JV for the Cougars.
Wow, big leveling check from Robbie Spalding.
Yep, Spalding still being physical out there. Now he's taking it out on the guys that haven't been out there much tonight. We're under a minute to play. There's a shot deflected wide.
And one thing in the past that Centennial has received some flack for is not having strength of schedule. They play in the North Suburban, not the strongest hockey conference. And they went out of their way to schedule as many top 10 teams in their non-conference schedule as possible, playing Roseville, Wiper Lake, Edina, Wyzetta, Mounds View, Hill Murray, Holy Angels, Moorhead, and Duluth East. They've scheduled all those games on purpose to, strengthen their team, especially for this time when it comes section playoffs. And they're going to come away in the semifinal game with a 9-2 victory over Roseville.
Well, the total shots on goal at the end of the game, 40 for the Cougars, 19 for Roseville. And then you saw the final score as the Cougars will move on, and they will face off against the Hill Murray Pioneers, legends of high school hockey, coming up on Friday night.
Yeah, Hill Murray, an incredible team. We've seen them throughout the years. They've had a couple state titles, consistently seem to make it to the state tournament. But this Section 3AA section is just loaded with good teams. And you see Roseville coming at the number 5 seed, and they are a very good team. They've been ranked in the top 10. 5 teams in the section have been ranked in the top 10 throughout the year. Hill Murray, one of them. A 6-2 victory Centennial had over Hill Murray in the Capital City Classic at the Excel Center, which is the Christmas tournament at the Excel. And they went on to win that tournament. They defeated Elk River and then Holy Angels. So they faced Hill Murray earlier this year. But again, anything can happen within a couple of months. And then when you come to section playoffs, Centennial, I'm sure, is going to want to be healthy and focused for that contest. As we said earlier, Hill Murray coming off 4 days rest, Centennial only 2, may play a factor, but either way, we'll find out Friday night.
Now, just taking a look at some of the numbers here, R.J. Anderson finishes up the night with a couple of goals and assists. 1 goal, and still totaling up the assists for Ryan Flynn. I believe he had 3 assists in the game. And then Tom Gorowski picked up a power play goal as well. So the rest of the goals pretty well spread around. Ornell with a couple. Pendergrass picked up 1, Vermillion picked up 1, and Montgomery as well. Ornell getting both of his goals here in the 3rd period. So another nice night for the Cougars as they spread the wealth, and they will move on to face, as you mentioned, the hated Hill Murray Pioneers.
No one seems to like the private schools, but Centennial looking strong in this contest. A great 3rd period, and they can build off that momentum. And they're looking like they're going to be healthy. Tom Gorowski, it was pretty obvious he wasn't 100%, but he played strong. He got a power play goal. So we're looking forward to great things from the Centennial Cougars. Once again in the section finals, and hopefully they can make the state this year. But they will run into the Hill Murray Pioneers. We'll have that game on North Metro 15 Friday night. We'll have highlights of this game and the Tri-City quarterfinal. Also the section championship on Sports 10 Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Re-airs Fridays at 11 a.m. And we've just seen a pretty good hockey game, and it's only the start for Centennial. I believe there's more things to come.
I would tend to agree. Like I was saying earlier, on paper, nobody matches up with the Cougars, and we'll have to see how things go as they work their way into and through the state tournament.
All right, for Dave Washburn, I'm Kenton Kipp. Centennial 9, Roseville 2. We'll see you Friday night. Have a good night, everybody.